The finals just got a brand new update 4.5, and with that comes a massive new Halloween event, additionally some future and community updates, even a brand new mechanic, which I'll deep dive into that entire new system, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up world, it's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the finals. Okay, so first up, as always, we'll get into the opening statements, where of course, as usual, we do have Oscar's opening statement on the Discord, where he wanted to say they got an all-new event with 27 collectible rewards, and an explosive addition to World Tour maps starting tomorrow, sponsored by Hoto, who reminds you to carve your pumpkins with extreme caution. They've also introduced a new dizzying feature, the Wheel. The Wheel is something they've never seen before in the finals, where they realized that they could not be the world's greatest game show without a flashy wheel of amazing prizes. The event goes live right now and will be live for 2 weeks in total. With the wheel itself, there are a lot of details tied to it. So this is essentially a quote-unquote gacha system, or a new wheel where you do spin based on the tickets you receive per in-game contracts. However, there's a couple stipulations there and a lot of details that might not be necessarily brought up in this. Where the wheel, again, yes, you can earn up to 3 tickets per day and you can spin the wheel to earn one of these random prizes here. Oscar does point out that there's 27 collectibles, however, I think he means with the bundles included or what's in the bundles, as there is a total of 21 prizes on the reward wheel, with that 21st being if you collect all 20 from the wheel itself, where you do spin for those collectible rewards. There are a few things there with that though. First up, the notion when you do spin the wheel, you can actually get duplicates. So you might not necessarily always get a new reward every time you spin the wheel. You do have 2 weeks to do so, and if you get 3 per day, meaning that if you did get the rewards every single day or 3 tickets every single day, you will get a total chances of 42 tries to spin the wheel. However, with there being duplicates, that might make it a bit hard still. Now there are 2 things there with that. So essentially, because you can get duplicates, you can also purchase things from the wheel. And if we jump over to the patch notes side of things, it is a little bit different than Oscar's opening statement, where they do mention that all these amazing cosmetics were going to be added to the store. However, they decided to add them to the reward wheel. In order for you to spin and win something, you must have a ticket. You can earn up to 3 per day, as we went over before. And they say here there's an equal chance of winning every item, and there's a specific item if you want on the wheel. You can buy it either with VRs or multi-bucks, depending on the item. No luck needed there. If you spend a ticket on a spin and wind up winning a reward you already have, you'll get some VR back, so every spin is technically a win. And as they do mention from that comment, you can either spend VRs or multi-bucks depending on the item. Now for all of them you can buy with multi-bucks. However, with some of them, you can also buy with VRs. So for example here, if you see the Tree Hunt tee, you can buy that with both the VRs as well as the multi-bucks here. It's going to cost you quite a bit of multi-bucks at 1,600. However, with the multi-bucks, it's only around 200. Whereas if you look at the legendary skins, the Flareborn Swoop, for example, you cannot purchase that with anything but multi-bucks and a spin wheel chance. So essentially, no matter what, if you do have the money for this, you can get every single item. I would say this is Apex's loot box, or at least akin to a loot box and a gacha system, seeing as you can spend money, but it is pretty fair overall. And last up here, they do mention if you collect all the rewards featured on the wheel, you'll get the grand prize, the Stealth Spectre bundle, which will make you stand out in the arena. And I was looking through the cosmetics here and the bundles with that. What looks to be a mask is actually a face paint, and the thing giving off the effect for this bundle is actually the shirt or the sweatshirt jacket here. So if you were curious on what item actually gives that effect off, it is the jacket that's featured in that bundle. Coming back to Oscar's statement though, and the rest of the patch notes, of course they mention that they're finding new ways to reward you and amuse you while keeping the game fun and new. Because this is so new, they would love your feedback with the event. So when it's over, they're going to have a short survey about your experience. They've also mentioned here that they just enabled the Ruby Ranked for the ranked leaderboards. So if you are trying to get that Ruby Ranked, you can fight for that top 500. Oscar does mention one more thing here, and there was another update at 8 AM, at least CST my time, where he says, as many of you pointed out, there's a contract live right now that is related to dealing damage and getting eliminations with jack-o'-lanterns. I was quite confused there. However, these contracts are supposed to go live with the new World Tour update or event tomorrow. So you can actually make progress on these contracts. So of course, a bit of a teaser for the new update there and the new event. Obviously going to tie into jack-o'-lanterns and doing damage with them, probably a pick-upable like we've had before. That does cover for the Oscar side of things. Jumping over to the patch notes, we have a ton of new details here on the balance changes. So there was a quick note here as they approach the balancing of the game has evolved with every season. They made a lot of changes with the constant flow of players, providing feedback, and as time marches on, they want to see the game reach a more stable state with a more reliable rhythm. As such, they intend to do larger meta-altering balance passes at the start of each new season, while they introduce new strategies and ways to play. Between these are two major balance passes that they'll perform smaller nudges to the balance that aim and smooth out the current experience. So of course we're seeing another major balance change, and this is with two weapons here. The first one notable here is the Model 1887, which had its inner radius changed from 45 to 0.65, and the outer radius from 1.3 to 1.7. These will make the weapon less accurate at longer ranges, while also decreasing the damage falloff multiplier from 65% to 60%, causing the weapon to do less damage at range. They've looked at the effectiveness of this weapon in gameplay, stats like damage, headshot rates, and accuracy, in addition to stats like usage and win rates. They also looked at the data alone, and the Model 1887 is good but not exceptional when it comes to effectiveness during play. However, they've seen a large uptick in usage, mostly in the higher skill tiers, which has led the weapon to becoming very powerful and very prevalent in these matches and leading to a somewhat stale meta. This nudges to the effectiveness will hopefully disrupt this trend without making the weapon weaker than its nearest competitors when it comes to effectiveness. We can check out the bullet damage spread here. I do have a little clip of it showcasing how the effects or how the radius does change depending on how far you get back, and we could see how it does change at certain ranges. We also do have this post here showcasing off the exact measurements for 5, 10, and 15 meters. This was its distribution after the 4.5 update, and of course in my testing I get the exact same results. And the thread creator also posted an image of the old spread from 10 meters with the 4.4 update. We could see quite a significant change there, as we do have a much wider spread with this weapon overall. We also saw another weapon changed here. This one was a very small buff to it overall, where the XP45 had the increased damage fall off start distance from 15 to 20 meters, and its damage fall off end distance from 25 to 30 meters. This will make the XP45 more impactful at range, and they also decreased the fall-off multiplier from 65% to 62%, so a slight buff there for the XP45. Jumping over, we have the content and bug fixes. Where the contracts, they added the new Halloween contracts as part of the Treat Hunt event. They also fixed an issue where damage values earned on contestants could be broken, showing a larger negative score. Quite a big bug fix here was the cloaking device had an issue introduced in 4.4 that caused refraction effects like cloaking and parts of the dematerialize effect to not be visible when the effect quality is set to medium. We went over the effect stuff in my previous video, and the demat also had an issue fix where environmental downs and eliminations were not detected when the dematerializer floor was an air vent or a smaller prop. They are trying to add more of those environmental eliminations. We got a small amount of UI fixes and changes here. A major one here was an issue where player outlines could have the wrong color, and another issue where new players could become stuck in the account linking flow. Now, this was talked about in my previous videos about the fans and how the sponsor system worked, and we had quite the massive change there, where they increased the number of fans that can be earned by 50 to 100% depending on the action type. And they've also disabled the ability to earn fans with the healing beam. And the reason for doing so is the healing beam, as it was too easy for players to exploit this mechanic to farm fans at the cost of good competitive matches. They wanted fans to be earnable for actions that can be completed regardless of the contested setup. We saw a lot of people boosting, or at least quote-unquote boosting with that. They were doing a lot of stuff with the healing beam and just telling players, hey, play medium with the healing beam and you'll earn fans really fast. I think most of the notable ones were to use it in Power Shift and a few other playlists. Jumping over, we do have the VR section here where they increased the cap from 3,000 to 5,000. So now that you're able to spend with the Halloween event and use those VRs, they did actually increase those to 5,000 so you can earn a bit more. Also, a last change here, the weapons alternative scopes fixed an issue where weapons with an attached sight could have a skewed pose when aiming down sights, causing the sight to be misaligned where the weapon is aimed. I had that bug a few times during the playtest, and then also had it with the launch. Seems like they're finally nailing that one down, so hopefully that is fixed permanently. Last up here, we do have to cover the store update, where we actually have two additional things this time, as we have a new bundle. And this bundle is quite massive. It has a lot of things in there, including even a weapon skin. This is the Seize the Day bundle, which is that brand new pirate skin. Again, there is a ton of stuff with this bundle overall. with an emote, a pet, a skin, and a few others. We also, of course, have 3 new cosmetics on the store, which includes the Cash Out Conjurer set, which is that witch skin there. We also have the Bony Boo set, which we saw back in beta, and the Hecate Hexcat set, which is a brand new pet. Of course, they did fix the cosmetics now, all have those new timers for November 13th ending, and the old ones from last week also have that new stamp there. As a last minute mention, well, of course, as always, we do have those featured cosmetics over on my Discord or the outfits. Again, you can post to the Finals Runway page, and if you get enough fire emotes, that will put you on the Star Models page where I may feature it in my videos. With this first one here leading into the Halloween spirit and part of the new cosmetic sets, we have one by Clips by Steve YT, who showcases off that new pumpkin head, and it definitely matches very well with the rest of his set here. Next up, we have one by Rick Ricardo, who showcases off what he's calling the Virtual Bounty Hunter. Really like this one. This one's actually kind of close to something that I wear on my character currently. I really like how this one plays into multiple season battle passes, as well as just cosmetics in general. Definitely a really good outfit there. Overall, that should about cover for today's video. If you like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce!